What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So we all know that additional stimulus relief is needed. It would help out the American people. There's a lot of lower income households that desperately need it. There are people that are still middle income that are struggling. There are a lot of people on Social Security, on fixed incomes, that can't go and pay for medications, can't buy food, can't put gas in their cars. It's extremely frustrating. And right now, what's being discussed between lawmakers is how do we provide additional support to the American people, but also how do we provide additional support to Ukraine? Well, that's where a lot of this stuff is coming into play, because lawmakers right now are so frustrating, very frustrating. And I swear, the more I continue to research on these different topics, the more stressed out I become. But like I promised you, I will be here every step of the way. Now, here's what I want to explain, because there's a couple things that happened very recently, and there were statements that were made, one by the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, and the other one by the U.S. Progressive Caucus Chairwoman Pramila Jayapal. So I want to address what they both said. First, let's touch on what Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen had to say just the other day, because when she was asked about high gas prices and what the American people should expect, well, here's what she had to say, and I quote, "I think the American people understand the importance of suffering some toll themselves in order to uphold the values that we hold dear that are fundamental to a peaceful world order." That's what she said. Again, the American people understand the importance of suffering some toll themselves. It's financial, but we are suffering. Now, I can tell you right now that most Americans agree that we need to support Ukraine. I think everybody agrees that yes, probably a good 60 to 70% of Americans say yes, we will pay higher gas prices temporarily to help support Ukraine. Here's the problem. She simply stated that the American people must suffer some toll themselves, but she doesn't say anything about the Biden administration providing support, backing the Biden administration to get more relief to the American people, easing the cost of really anything to the American people, not even just for gas prices, but doing something to reduce costs elsewhere, so the toll at the pumps are not so severe. And whether this is eliminating, taxes for food in specific states, or eliminating gas taxes, maybe we get a bigger tax break on certain things, right? There's so many things that could be done, but everyone's talking about a gas tax holiday. But again, they're talking about this like it's something for 30 days, 60 days, when we could be in this mess for quite some time. And she doesn't mention anything about the millions of people who have pretty much decided to put gas in their car, or really have to decide, do I put gas in my car, or do I pay for food and medications and pay for my rent? Because that's a tricky situation to be in. I've been in that before, where I had to decide, do I fill up my gas tank? Could I afford to go, eat something today? Or do I have to keep my, not spend anything because, well, I got to pay for rent. I don't want to be late on rent. I've been in that situation before. It's not a good situation to be in. But that was a better time than today, when we're seeing there's a lot of jobs that are still out there. They're still open. People are still hiring. But the problem is, and people have said this on the channel before, is I put in dozens of applications and I never get the call because, well, my guess is it's my age. My age is a factor, and a lot of people right now are older. We got Gen Zers who are hardly even working. Well, I don't want to say hardly even working, but many would rather stay home, do something else as opposed to work, and that's creating a huge issue. Now, no offense to them, right? Everyone has to make their decision, but it's causing a lot of issues for other people. Now, many of the polls that really were conducted over the past week or so, that everybody was asking, would you pay higher gas prices? Would you pay more if it was support for Ukraine? And most people said yes. They would gladly pay more to show their support for Ukraine. But here's the thing. Most of these polls were going on the assumption of it would be a temporary price increase, because they were going under the assumption that this invasion wouldn't last long. But that all changed just the other day when President Biden said that we would not step foot in Ukraine. We won't go up against Russia unless Russia were to invade and attack our NATO allies. Ukraine is not a NATO ally. Ukraine is not part of NATO. So this causes a lot of issues, because this just proves that this war with Russia and Ukraine is going to go on for a little while. This isn't going to be a quick thing. Well, we do know Russia is not going to back down until their demands are met. The expectation, this could potentially take months. Could take months. That's not good. And now for the other frustrating thing. And let me know your thoughts on that down in the comment section below. What do you think of Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's statement? You think that's true? That the American people should take this kind of suffer a toll ourselves? What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And now for the next frustrating thing that was said recently. This was said by the U.S. Progressive Chairwoman Pramila Jayapal. And she has this idea that, okay, the $16 billion that was supposed to go for COVID funding didn't get passed through the House and Senate. Okay, well, her idea is, let's just make states pay for it. She says, being that Congress can't come to an agreement of taking money back from a handful of states, then make all states pay into the $16 billion fund. Now, the states can simply return some of their unspent funding from the $350 billion, and they can pay for this. This is coming out of the American Rescue Plan. But here's what you need to keep in mind. What's so frustrating about this is that multiple lawmakers support this idea. She said this the other day. Multiple lawmakers support this idea that, yeah, it would be fair to get all states to pitch in. But when it comes to states all pitching in to provide additional assistance to those with lower incomes, what we know is they normally said, well, we would love to, but, well, we don't have the money. And when it comes to providing more relief to people on Social Security, well, the money is nowhere to be found. We just don't have it in our budget. But yet, now we're getting multiple lawmakers that support that idea that just make all states pay for it, because guess what? They have billions of dollars just sitting there. Why wouldn't they just pay for it? And now, I understand that providing a stimulus check to the American people would cost much more than $16 billion. But there's other provisions that could pass that wouldn't take that much money. That they just need a little bit of support. And if all states had money, then why can't this happen then? Why, if we're seeing, it's just certain people in certain states that are really struggling, well, why couldn't we take money from all states and help out those specific groups, right? And again, I don't think that would ever happen, because, well, we gotta be fair. And California, they need a lot of money. But nothing against people in California. Absolutely love Californians, but people in California need a lot of money. Well, it's because their state is blowing all their money. So the state needs more money. So they're sucking all the money into California and into New York, right? But at the same time, they're blowing a lot of the money. It's not really going to the things that they say it's going to. And that's creating a lot of issues. But this is what's so frustrating is the American people say, if we just had a little bit more help here, right? We got some additional nutrition assistance, which was great. But what happens when it expires? There's not a lot of talks of passing additional relief. A lot of people are just saying it's going to expire because, well, there's just no money. But again, lawmakers are saying just make the states pay for it because the states have money. Do you see how frustrating this is? Now, I don't want to get you more upset, okay? Especially on a Saturday evening. Again, remember tonight you need to set your clocks ahead 1 hour. You set them ahead at 1:59 a.m. Actually tomorrow morning, because then you skip away from 2 a.m. and it goes straight to 3 a.m. Right? But just understand right now, again, I do a lot of research every single day. It doesn't matter it's Saturday, okay? My wife, my family know I will do the research. I will be in my office. I will be doing my work that I do every single day. Been doing it for almost 2 years now. Okay? Things don't change. But again, this is what's so frustrating is lawmakers say that we need to provide more support, but at the same time, their ideas only work for certain situations. And this is one of them. Lawmakers say make all states pay for it. But when it comes to, we'll just make all states pay for additional relief to the American people. Let's cut the gas tax or make the state pay that tax, right? We don't cut it. We just take it away for a little bit. The state pays it with additional funding that they have. And then, at the end of it, it's still there, right? It's still there. We're still getting some relief. Or let's cut half of it, right? Again, it's frustrating, but that's where we currently stand. So I just wanted to fill you in on what was said because I think these two statements, they say a lot about where we're headed. And again, it might not be great, but again, I will be here every step of the way. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Hopefully you're having an incredible weekend so far as well. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning. I will bring you the latest news and updates then as well. So thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.